Hello, Amanda Schmidt, and I know that you will join me in welcoming our 53 listeners to the next episode of Outwit Outlast. I'm your co-host, Geoff Schmidt, and you are Amanda Schmidt, and together we will break down this last episode of Survivor.
Yeah, hi.
Would you like to provide a brief recap?
Yeah, I will try my best to do it so fast. So
So fast.
what I remember happening in this episode is we have a reward challenge. It's big. There's water. Not super consequential. We get a great shot of Aubrey missing the thing she's supposed to hit in the air as she falls into the water. Her tribe cannot recover from that and loses the reward. Other consequential things that happen this episode. Genevieve is convinced that Aubrey might have a boomerang idol, which is a smart intuition. She searches her entire bag, apologizing the whole time in a very cute Canadian way. Can't find anything, puts everything back. Moments later, at least how it appears in the edit, Christian finds a boomerang idol, decides smartly to send it to Aubrey, who receives it, is very emotional and grateful about it. Moments after her bag has been searched and everyone has decided she doesn't have a boomerang idol, which is great timing for Aubrey. Ozzy and Suri have another nice moment. Ozzy gives Suri her first ever, somehow, advantage in Survivor history, his extra vote. Can't believe she's never had an advantage in 5 seasons of Survivor. Love this for her. We have a big immunity challenge. Everyone has to carry a heavy snake. It's a lot. There's a lot of running and carrying. There's a little puzzle at the end. Ultimately, once again, Christian and Rick and Emily's tribe and Cerie's tribe goes back to tribal council after losing the challenge. Joe and Rick Devens, back on the beach, get into a weird and sort of confusing fight because Rick Devens lied to Joe about something for no reason, and Joe is very paranoid and upset that Rick Devens lied to him about something for no reason. Nonetheless, with a lot of babysitting from Christian, everybody manages to calm down and decides to ultimately vote out Savannah. And I think that is everything you need to know about episode 2, Survivor 50.
Well, in my recap, there would also have to be mention of Ozzy and Coach like talking trash in the lamest probably way
Yes.
possible.
I knew I forgot
Lame
something.
talking. Also, Coach getting cramps in the ocean and having to be rescued. Just further fuel for my old people are terrible theme for this season.
Yeah, I
Uh,
seem to have forgotten Coach's entire presence in this episode. I'm so sorry.
well, I think Coach would like everybody to forget his presence in this episode because exactly he wasn't exactly. I don't think that's the coach that he wants to be.
I mean, maybe the coach he wants to be really is the guy who interrupts a sad conversation about Kyle's medevac to talk about how he is actually honorable.
I know he is quite a jerk, and
Yeah.
I guess Ozzy did give him a little burn. He didn't have much of a quick rejoinder to any of that. He just sort of fumed. Maybe all of his bad feelings just went into his calves and cramped them. Like he was thinking,
Yeah.
Ozzy, and then
All
his
the
calves,
negativity is stored in his calves.
I am honorable. Just cramped him up and he almost drowned.
Yeah. Thank God Jonathan and not the entire Survivor medical team was there to save him.
I know. Jonathan could carry the whole medical team out to
Yeah, what we
save
didn't
him.
see was Jonathan pulling the boat behind him that Coach was on.
I know. I'm sure with his teeth. I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I don't know. This episode just confirmed for me your theory that this was going to be a funny season because it was truly. There were a few little sort of sad moments there, but mostly it was just all kinds of funny, like the terrible irony of searching Aubrey's bag before she gets it was
Yeah.
funny to me.
Yes.
Um, Mike White all redeems older people by showing up not just in an abolitionist way, but also just openly mocking Coach on the beach. I thought in a
Yeah.
way that was sort of giddy and delighted. And I realized that I'm not so sure that Mike White is going to play that under the radar middle game this time. I don't think he can. I don't think he can contain himself or his new abs.
He's got to pick a side if he's going to be so funny and witty and ab having. No, I don't know. I think the first episode, I think he did a good job and made a point of saying, I need to lower my threat level by just being sort of comedic relief. And I think that that could lead to sort of a middle game for a while and is not a bad strategy. That's kind of what Tony's strategy was on Winners at War.
Yeah,
So I don't know. Mike is both providing a lot of entertainment for me so far, and like I don't think Coach noticed him making fun of him. Like I think that Mike could continue to figure out a way to play the middle. Although I guess it doesn't matter because there will be a tribe swap, so there's no middle of that tribe for Mike to play.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, we did leave out two of the best things about this episode. One was the the crazy Rick Devens and Christian fake idol at the
Oh my
end,
God, yeah. Oh,
and
I
then of
kind of
course the
forgot so
Google.
much.
I know it's funny how this episode had was really packed with a lot of cool stuff that kind of skitters away from your conscious mind and just settles into your subconscious.
Yeah,
This to me was like all of the episodes of Survivor ever because I also felt kind of sad for Savannah. She made that heartfelt
I
speech and then
know.
got the boot. And I know Savannah's sort of a polarizing winner for some people, but I really respected her game and I really liked the way that she was entering this season. Some ways she made obvious mistakes. It was not a difficult decision to send her home. I don't think it was. I think it was a good ish decision, but boy, that is the Chaos Tribe.
Yeah. And I do think Savannah was set up to fail a little bit. Like, I think she's coming in as a recent winner that no one knows anything about. Like, of course, everyone's going to be threatened by her. Plus, she goes on this journey and gets an advantage, and it's clear to everyone she has an advantage. Like, I think she had a real uphill battle, and it's kind of a miracle she even survived one tribal council. Although, from exit press, and honestly from her reaction when she got voted out, it seemed like she mostly just felt really bad that she like didn't make it further. Like she felt really like lucky that she got chosen to be on this season and felt a little guilty that she didn't make it further, which makes me sad for her. I feel like you can see
Well,
that when she's saying goodbye to Geoff and she's
yeah,
saying thank you so much for the opportunity. There's a little bit of that
yeah,
like maybe imposter syndrome there, like did I deserve to
yeah,
be here and then just immediately get voted off? But I think she deserved to be there. I think she just had a kind of an impossible task.
yeah. I agree. In a weird way, I am now kind of have come around to the the belief that both of them deserve to be there. Like I have a feeling Rizzo's this is a good group for Rizzo to play his game with, um, and and it wasn't just a fluke that he went as far as he went. I thought maybe it was, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So you, I think, have one player that really stood out for you this episode. Who was that?
Yeah, I mean Christian. I feel like this whole episode was about Christian. Which I
Huh.
think includes a couple of the things I didn't mention in my silly little recap. One of which was this moment of planting the fake idol at tribal council, which Rick came up with, but Christian was kind of the star of the show in causing the cutest distraction so that Rick could place this idol because Christian just fell in front of everyone so that everyone came over to help while Rick hid this fake idol, which who knows if they'll actually use it. I guess we've seen it in the edits, so it must come up again. Do I think it's going to be a successful play? No. Do I think it's already made good television? Yes, yeah. The thing that this episode makes me think about Christian, and I think why I'm so glad he's on this season especially, is that I think he does not have vanity or an ego in the way that most of the other players on this season do. And I think that's what makes him so wonderful. Like, there are not many people who could shit their pants on national television and just joke about it immediately.
Oh
Like, clearly
yeah.
he's embarrassed. Like, I'm not saying he doesn't have pride. Like, clearly he's embarrassed, but like, he's joking about how his wife's gonna divorce him. He's finding all of these euphemisms. It was so funny, and I feel terrible for him that the cameramen were following him down the beach in this moment and then put it on television. But like, the reaction on the internet seems just to be like, we love Christian.
Yeah.
And I think that's right. Like, I think he just is so willing to be himself and be embarrassing on television, like the fall in the middle of tribal council. Like, I don't think Colby would have created a distraction by simply falling. Like I think Christian
Right.
is just willing to set aside whatever sort of ego or like image he wants people to have of him to just play a good game and like be a good person. And I love that about him. Like, a coach was so the antithesis of that this episode, arguing about honor and like being so embarrassed about letting people see him like as someone who's not strong enough to swim out with Jonathan and fish, and like as someone who's not like honorable in the way that he wants to be. And like Ozzy too, I think, and like Colby, like they're all kind of trying to hold on to these images of themselves as like strong guys, and they're trying to like portray this image of themselves that I think is a bit tied up with ego. And I think they're all sort of working on it to varying degrees, but like Christian just does not have that insecurity that I think a lot of the men, especially on this season, have. And I think that's part of what makes him so wonderful.
Yeah, I think a lot of those men have that conflation of ego, insecurity driven ego, right? I guess. Yeah. I feel like Aubrey has a weird mix of
Yeah.
insecurity. And Genevieve in a little way now. I was just trying to think if that was just a particularly male
No,
annoying.
you're right. I guess it's not.
It might be, and certainly the way that they act it out, it's performative in a way when it's with men that is harder to take for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Joe has a weird insecurity. I don't
Yes.
understand that where that paranoia comes from exactly, but it happened in his first season too. I remember it really being an impediment to gameplay for allies, especially. And it's sort of baffling to me. I'm kind of with Rick, like that doesn't seem like a good way to play, like
Yeah.
uh to what end? Like what are you gonna do with all of this insecure probing and assumption of dishonorable scheming. And I like Cerie's response too, like, "Oh, gasp, Survivor, somebody's lying to you." Like, "Oh
Yeah.
no, that's the first time it's ever happened." So yeah, I like that about Christian as well, and I don't think that there are too many other players who seem that um, in the moment and comfortable with themselves.
I know. I think you're right that Joe also has that sort of insecurity and like he's got a lot of like pride, and I think that was part of the fight between him and Rick. Rick described it as stubbornness, but I think there's also just this like level of sort of ego where like Joe doesn't want to go through the game like he's not willing to play the game on anyone else's terms, you know? Like he
Right.
needs to know what everyone's talking about at all times or else he's going to be overwhelmed by this paranoia, and he's taking it out on Rick, who that fight shouldn't have happened because Joe was probably in the wrong and acted kind of paranoid and weird and like is not just letting Survivor take his course. But Rick had no reason to lie to him. In that fight, Joe said what are you like, why are you lying to me about this alliance? I'm in it. And like that's how I feel as a viewer. Like I think it would have been so easy for Rick to just tell Joe at the well, yeah, Savannah was asking me about this alliance that she and Ozzy wanted me to talk to you about. Like it would have been so easy. He doesn't have to commit to that alliance. Like I think he just has to tell Joe that it's something that's been floated.
I know. I don't understand that either, unless he was afraid, maybe rightly, that Joe would take that as evidence that he was flipping already.
Maybe. But I think it's a little bit Rick being caught up in his own world of not wanting to work with Joe and not even being willing
Yeah.
to tell him that an alliance that involves the two of them has been floated. Like I think that's all sort of stubbornness and ego among these guys.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
so much, and it sounds like from the press, it sounds like the fight was worse than what we saw.
Oh, that's very interesting. I'm trying because I'm afraid I sniffed out a site. I've been trying to go media blackout now for the rest of the season,
Yeah.
which is difficult. Not for nothing, this episode also reminded me of why Suri is such a good player.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
thought she had a terrible first couple days, but she's really back doing what she does best, which is not. It's not even manipulative. It's just directing flow, or
Mhm.
something like. I think she must be just delighted that the spotlight is off of her and on to Joe now,
Yeah.
and super delighted that it was Savannah that took the hit. Even though she and Ozzy are clearly an alliance, everybody knows it. Nobody likes it, but it was Ozzy's name that got written down, not hers. Like
Yeah.
she's super good at having conversations with people that feel really genuine and just sort
Yeah.
of, just easing the flow a little bit. Uh, I
Yeah.
I think if she and Rizzo ever start playing in the same tribe, it'll be very interesting because I think they kind of do the same thing in a
Huh.
weird way. Different methods, but the same outcome.
No, I see what you mean. Like, both of them are decent at sort of picking the right target that everyone can rally around who's not
Yeah,
them, and then sort
yeah,
of pushing the flow towards that person. You know what's
right.
interesting to me about Suri this episode? I agree she played it really well. She got the heat off of Ozzy. It's all the way off of her now. But what was interesting to me was that people were picking up on her driving that. Like, Savannah
Mhm.
absolutely clocked it.
Yeah,
Savannah said, I think Suri is trying to get us to focus on Joe so that we don't focus on Ozzy. And she told
yeah,
everyone else that, and everyone else agreed. Like, everyone knows that Suri is doing this, but I think
right.
just because you know someone's manipulating you doesn't mean that you always sort of can or will stop them from manipulating you. And what's so impressive to me
Yeah,
about Cerie is that I think even when people sense that she is sort of manipulating them, she's so good at it and she's so good at convincing them and building genuine relationships that they'll kind of go with what she said anyways. Like even though they're a
yeah,
little bit aware that it's happening, they still do what she wants. Like that's crazy to
yeah.
me. Like that is why she is on the show for a fifth time. She's so good at that. And that's why she's made it to the final like six almost every time she's played Survivor.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen with this tribe swap. So I kind of all
No.
bets are sort of off. Um, I think. Do you think we'll have a double elimination next week?
I wonder. I get frustrated when they do too many tribe swaps because I think it's hard to like track the characters and their relationships when we do too many swaps.
Right.
But I am interested in how it'll shift the dynamic. I'm assuming it'll be three tribes of seven, and I agree that I am kind of always waiting for like a massacre double or triple elimination episode because there are so many of them left. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe that will be next episode.
Yeah. Maybe. Well, yeah, I agree with you about Christian. He was just the highlight. He opened the episode and he closed it in ways that were
Yeah.
not quote unquote dignified, or controlling or powerful or anything. And yet, you know, pretty, pretty. That last pratfall seemed to be convincing, actually. Like Serena
Yeah.
seemed to be like patting him on the back. Oh, Christian, you silly man, and like he's really is very good at taking using those moments to build craft a narrative, right? Now
Yeah.
he's sort of bumbling Christian who soils his pants. And I don't think
Yeah.
people really understand how central he is to that alliance and that tribe, and how much he's really kind of calling some shots right now. Maybe.
Yeah, I think the more he lets himself be unintimidating, the harder it is for everyone to see him as the threat that he is. So, like, I think that he plays the game so well. And I think so much of it is because he's not saddled by these sort of insecurities and fears and like image problems that other people have. Like, I think Christian just is great and is willing to let the world who watches Survivor see him as who he is.
Yeah.
And I was really dismissive of the idol that they hid earlier, but I don't know. Maybe it will really work. I don't quite understand what the plan is, but I'm excited to see it come up again.
I think that they were planning to discover it mid tribal, and then claim to have found an idol right in tribal, and then everybody would, I don't know what, like freak out, not vote for them. But if you've got an
I
idol, wouldn't you just want to flush it?
I guess the idea is if like Rick or Christian is in danger at a later tribal
Right.
council and their name is going to be written down, it's sort of like a last ditch effort. Like if you find an idol mid
Yeah.
tribal council and people are afraid you're going to play it, like yeah, maybe they would change their votes out of an abundance of caution or at least
Yeah.
throw some extra votes on other people just in case.
True. Yeah. Devens could find it and say, Christian, I just found an idol. I'm going to play it for you, you know,
Yeah.
or whatever. Here's what I hope happens. They there's going to be tribe swaps. They're never going to use it. They might not even be on the same tribe from now on. And maybe they're both going to get voted out, but the idol is going to still be there. And somewhere down, like when there's only about 10 people left, somebody's going to find that idol. And then it's going to get really confusing because as people, I guess I did read a little bit on the Facebook page. Um, it's a boomerang idol. So what are they going to do?
Yeah.
They're going to contact the producers and say, "Hey, plant an idol in so and so's, backpack," and then producers are going to say, "What? No? Yes?" They're not going to
I
say
don't
anything
know.
and then just never do it.
Like, or maybe the only way this fake idol could be used is by tricking people into thinking it's real who haven't actually read the slip that goes with it.
Maybe just flash that there's a slip, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right, if someone else finds it, I don't know what happens. I think they maybe immediately realize it's a fake idol, but who knows?
I don't know. That's funny, but I really
Yeah.
like the idea of this like planted fake idol, like this little bomb on the set, because other
Yeah.
groups are going to use that set. I don't know why
Yeah.
they didn't think that somebody else could find it. But Devens doesn't care. It's good TV. He would love that.
Yeah. No, I think that's fully just Evans trying to make good TV. Like I think this has very little strategic merit. It could work. Like it's not the craziest idea. Like I can see a scenario where it works, but I think more likely it's just him trying to make interesting TV.
Yeah, maybe so. It's good, and it worked.
Yeah, it
It,
worked.
it made me wish more people did stuff like that every season of Survivor. I,
Yeah,
I really like this out of the box thinking.
me too.
So yeah, my only two last observations are I think the secret of Mike's success for me this season is that he doesn't care about winning at all. I don't think, or else he's projecting that to everybody in a convincing
Yeah.
way. I want to have fun. I just want to do things that I never did before with my new gym toned body, and I think that's interesting. I don't meet that many players that genuinely don't seem to really care if they win or not. But I have a feeling he's kind of good with whatever happens. What do you think? You think that's just a smokescreen?
I think it would be a really smart smokescreen, first of all. And second of all, I think he probably cares at least a little bit about winning. I think they all do. And he came so close last time and kind of got in his own way, it seems, because he didn't want to ruin the narrative of David versus Goliath. So I think, like, for me, if I'm Mike, it would be hard not to care a little bit about winning Survivor because he
Hmm.
got so close last time and he really could have had it. But I agree with you that he's projecting, just like happy to be there on a break. Like this is kind of his vacation.
Yeah,
And I think that is certainly part of it. Like I think a huge part of this for him is just getting material for White Lotus.
yeah.
So I think that the more he projects that, the less likely people are to see him as a threat, which is great for him. So I think whether or not it's true, I think it's working for him.
Maybe Q, being the unlikely get off my lawn player, would attract his attention enough to give him a cameo. There's
Yeah,
nothing crazier for me than Q being suddenly the voice of reason, complaining about
I
how people aren't
know.
working enough. This is a funny
Um,
episode.
Yeah, Q has been great this season. It makes me wonder if he's going to go deep into the
Yeah,
game and they're trying to give him more of like maybe he's still being crazy chaotic Q and we're just not seeing it, or maybe he really did do a good job of toning himself down. But I'm kind of team Q this season. He's
I am
right.
too.
He's funny. He thinks everyone is lazy, and based on the evidence we are given, he's right. Rizzo going
It,
back to the
it,
beach to disinfect his little cut and then not coming back is so funny.
I know. And all three of those players just sitting around eating, you know,
I
like
know.
openly, infuriatingly ignoring
Yeah.
the need to work.
And speaking of
Uh,
those players, a little shout out to all of the poor players this season who are getting basically no screen time at all, like Angelina, but also like Dee and Tiff and Camilla. I was
yeah,
hoping we'd get a little more of Camilla upon
yeah,
seeing that Kyle was gone, but then
yeah.
Coach just kind of stole that moment with his little ego rant. But
No,
yeah, I hope we get more soon of Camilla and Dee and Tiff. Dee is the only winner left in the game. Like she
right. Oh,
deserves some
yeah.
screen time, I think.
Yeah, me too. I think they're really getting the short end of the stick. Um, and maybe the tribe swap will shake that up.
Yeah.
That would be nice. All right. Well, do you have a final thought?
I guess looking ahead to next episode, which is coming up fast, I'm very curious to see how this tribe swap breaks down.
Hmm.
There are so many potential dynamics that have been left unexplored, and I'm assuming it's a random draw for the tribe swap, so it feels really possible that some of the people who are really well positioned right now, like Christian and Emily and Rick, are suddenly going to be in danger, and some of the people who are pretty poorly positioned, like maybe Aubrey or like Chrissy, it seems, are going to
Yeah.
get more of a second chance.
Yeah.
I hope in the tribe swap that some of the people who have gotten a bit of a tough go, like Chrissy, will get a better chance. And I hope that in the tribe swap, we start seeing a little bit more of some of these players who are getting nothing from, like Dee and Camilla and Tiff. I would like to see more women saying more things in the next episode. Saru and
Absolutely.
Genevieve are kind of carrying the team here.
Yeah, that's for sure. I also I missed Charlie. I don't know where he's been in the edit.
I know.
Uh, and I really thought, yeah, you're right. But especially there are a lot of strong, powerful women who I must be doing something, but I am not seeing it. And
Yeah.
it is a reminder about the power of the edit.
Yeah.
Let's hope that this week things shake up in a really good way for our intrepid heroes, Christian Devens and Emily. And let's hope that Dee and Camilla, at least, and join forces with them, and that Tiffany has more than 30 seconds on screen.
Yeah,
That would be nice.
that
Yeah.
is my dream for this next episode.
That's my dream too. Yeah. And we don't hear from Coach the whole episode.
Yeah, I mean, I would love that. Although, to his credit, the times when he was on camera were entertaining.
Yeah, they were,
I
but
was entertained.
uh, are you
At
not
what
entertained?
cost? But
I will say that this season so far has been pretty entertaining for me as a as a co-host.
yeah, oh my God, how have we not mentioned that shot of Christian rocking Joe in the hammock? And we see Christian through the mesh of the
That was so
hammock, like
sweet.
trying to convince Joe to calm down and make the right decision. So funny. Uh,
That
like
this was
this,
a
this was
hey,
a
this was
funny
a
episode.
gem of an episode. I
Yeah.
think. I don't know what's going to come next, but if they have this balance of funny with a little bit of strategy and a little bit of excitement,
Yeah, a little
but
more
mostly
strategy maybe next time. These have been somewhat boring votes.
they've certainly played out in a way that was pretty inevitable. Um,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree.
But yeah, keep
I,
the humor, add some strategy, and it's the perfect season.
I think it's got to. I think there's too many players right now. When they get down to about 18, then we'll start seeing the strategy really pop.
Maybe. All right. Well, I enjoyed talking about this episode with you. I'm excited to watch episode 3. To our viewers and listeners, thank you for tuning in. I hope you'll tune in again next week to hear what we have to say about
Yeah,
episode 3 of Survivor 50.
something enthralling, no doubt.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Well, it's an
Thanks,
enthralling
Dad.
day, Amanda.
You too.
I love you.
Bye.